Hello, welcome to Wednesday night chat with Nick. How's everyone's doing? Let's see. Let me set up my chat real quick, and then we can get going. I am under a bit under the weather. I'm not sure if I what kind of sickness I have, but you probably can notice in my voice is a little bit coarse. I got a little sore throat going on, so I might not do a very long chat today. Um, the big news, of course, is the X-Men Days of Future Past. Uh, I have done my best to avoid the spoilers, but from what I can see and hear, sound like the movie might not be all that great. So I still will go see it, as I have done for every X-Men movie up to date. But I heard a lot of grumbling that it's not as good as Days of Future Past. That doesn't mean much for me because Days of Future Past for me was okay. Um, it was not. I seen it once, so obviously it was not great enough for me to want to see it more than once. I'm telling you, I am a tough pleaser when it comes down to superhero movies because unlike a lot of people, I know a lot of people that seem like every superhero movie is awesome, and then on the other extreme, there are those that think most sucks. For me, I'm in the middle. I think for the most part, most superhero movies are average. The kind of movie where I go see it once and they are good enough that I don't feel like I waste my time or money. Brooke is here. Hello. Next up, X-Men is correct. Yes. I am glad that Apocalypse look has changed since the initial um, if you look at the original Apocalypse, they had changed his look a lot. They had changed his lips. In the beginning, I think in many pictures, maybe the CGI was not done yet, so he has human lips, but now he has that Apocalypse lips, and as well as the cheekbone um, lines down the side of his face is more pronounced now than ever. So there are subtle changes that they have made to Apocalypse look that look better. I still think that they should have done something with the jawline to make it more a wider jawline. Um, but other than that, I think I'm okay with the way Apocalypse look. But the movie, I like I said, I avoid listen to any spoilers. But still, from just the general, do you think he will be a one-off villain? Yes, yes. Sadly, yes. I am very curious to see what will happen to the other mutants. You can tell my voice. My voice is kind of coarse. I'm under the weather. I'm not all healthy today, so my voice is kind of rough. I am curious to see what they will do with Psylocke and Angel. And one of the things that I am getting tired of seeing is Magneto. Do we need to see Magneto in every X-Men movie? I sure hope they do not include him in the storyline for the next movie. I think I have had enough of Magneto. That could be just me. Okay, I think other people might vehemently disagree, but I am, for once, can admit that I am tired of seeing Magneto in every single X-Men movie. Enough already. It I watched the first one again today. Still one of the best. Huh. The first one was okay. I guess I like it less than you did. I do own the DVD. That's the only DVD of the X-Men that I bought was the first X-Men. I bought the 1.5 version. I'm not sure what the difference is between the 1.5 version and the first DVD that came out. So I watched the first one once in a theater and once on a DVD. Um, I liked it. I liked it enough to buy the DVD, but it had been a long, long time. Robert Finnefrock. I thought Days of Future Past was great. It was good. It was good. My biggest complaint. I had a few complaints of that movie. One of my complaints of that movie was how Bryan Singer used the other mutants. You know, I didn't like how he throw in Bishop, Lynx, and many other. Well, Sunspot, Fireball. I can't remember who else was in it, but the few extra mutant that he throw in at the beginning of the movie was eye candy. Brooke said, "I'm gonna thumb down this video if you don't agree with me." Thumb down all the way, my friend. Is that he throw in a bunch of mutants, but very little character development, very little lines and dialogue from any of these characters, and very little explanation of any of their power. Okay, and to me, that's kind of shitty. That's my big complaint of Days of Future Past was I think they could have done a lot more, give a few more lines to all the supporting characters to make them more relevant, make you, the audience, care about them, but so little are given to them that you couldn't care less if they die. So and that has been, one of the things that make the Captain America Civil War movie great is that they throw in a dozen main characters, but the director gave sufficient time for each character to shine. Okay, so that was a problem with Days of Future Past for me was the inclusion of all these mutants, but at the same time, it was just some eye candy action scene and they are forgotten. That's what I think they might do with New Mutants, add even more characters just to be flashy. And that has been a problem with some of the other X-Men movie too, when they show the mansion. To me, it's just like I don't need to see the mansion with 20 other students running around and you see a seconds of each of them as far as what their power is. It does nothing. To me it adds nothing. And I think that has been my biggest problem with Bryan Singer. I enjoy all of the X-Men movie, but each one of them have had major flaws for me. X-Men First Class, once again, my biggest complaint for that movie is outside of for the villain side, okay, outside of um, the White Queen, the two villains, the name escaped me because they're so horrible acting by the White Queen. But then the rest of the other bad guys, and the same thing with the good guys, all those recruits that, like I said, Bryan Singer throw in a lot of characters, but I think he often failed to develop any of the characters. And that has been my biggest gripes of all of the X-Men movies. Emma, yes, Emma Frost. One of the worst casting. Oh my God. She was wooden, okay? I mean, I am so surprised. Yeah, Rogue was awful too. Rogue was, yeah. I'm surprised so little criticism came of Emma Frost, because that was horrendous. The acting was horrendous. She was, I mean, she was barely okay in the TV show Mad Men, okay? And I don't know what the hell was, but like I said, I can gripes all day long on Bryan Singer in that, I think people give him way too much credit for how great the X-Men movies are. Yes, thumb it down, Brooke. Mike Smith, you made it. Mike Smith, have you seen the Captain America movie? I'm guessing you have. And are you planning to go see the X-Men soon? Is it coming out this weekend? Let me know. I do not plan to go see the X-Men movie this weekend if it is coming out this weekend. I have a lot. Anthony has 2 birthday parties to attend Saturday. So I will be busy. I will be busy running around to 2 different birthday parties Saturday afternoon. Yeah, better than the first Cap, but not the second. Correct. It's a decent movie. It has its eye candy scenes for sure. Comic Crack is here. Hello, Terrence. I like it for nostalgia. I think being one of the first superhero films and Wolverine is pretty perfect in it. Yeah, I think it was one of those movies that, for me, if I had to pick a movie that have a lot of nostalgia factor, as far as a movie that I have watched multiple times, would be the first Iron Man. I enjoyed that movie a lot. It's the movie that kicked off the Marvel universe. If that movie bombed, we may have not have the Marvel universe as we have now on the big screen. So thankfully, it did not suck. Thankfully, it was very entertaining. And thankfully, Robert Downey Jr. was decent in it. Can't say about the villain. The villain was okay, but the showcase spotlight of Iron Man 1 was Iron Man. Yes, for those that just tune in, I am a bit under the weather. My voice is kind of rough. Let's see what else. Other than that, movie X-Men, that might be the next thing on the list. As far as TV show, I finally caught up to the Flash TV show. Perhaps the best non-Netflix TV show, superhero TV show. So if you're a fan of comic book heroes, characters, all that stuff, and you have not watched The Flash, that's my recommendation. It's the best TV show out there compared to the rest. And part of the reason too is many of the rest stink. What is my top 3 MCU villains? Oh, tough question, Brooke. On top of it, Loki. Loki is head and shoulder above many other villain that has been on the big screen. Okay, so I put Loki up there. Can I call the Winter Soldier because he was the main villain for the second Cap movie? Because I really like him. I put the Winter Soldier in the top 2, and to round out the top 3, oh man, tough one. I might not be able to come up with number 3, since I find most villains in these movies stink. I do. I detest most Marvel villain in the movies. Definitely not Malekith. Definitely not Whiplash. Definitely not the Red Skull. Oh, that was not good. Red Skull was not good. Oh man, I had to go with the Giant Frost. How's that? The first Thor. I thought they were great, but that's part of. Well, Loki was more of the villain in that movie, but yeah, I can I throw in the Hulk, because the Hulk is part of the MCU. Okay, so if I can't include the Hulk, then I thought the Abomination in the Hulk was a pretty awesome villain. So there you go. That's my top 3. Yeah, the Red Skull in I couldn't pick him. I thought he was not very good in Captain America 1. Not a big fan of that. Let's see. I am anticipating Preacher. Yeah, Preacher TV show. I don't read the comic books, okay? But from what Nate, the comic book Preacher, he's has his channel on YouTube. He's a big fan of Preacher, and from what he has been talking about for a while now, I think it's gonna be an awesome show. You know, I like that kind of show. Little demon, little black magic, little. It looked interesting. I trust AMC. Okay, I trust AMC. I recently got a comic that was a fire copy. What can you tell me about fire copy? Well, Comic Crack, Terrence, fire copies are somewhat unique in that they will produce just like any other comic book, but they were given to they were given to people in the company. One of the more famous pedigree out there is the Gaines file copy with all the EC book, because every book that was published, it was copies was sent to the publisher, to the head editors and other people, and they file it in their office. That's what file copies are. They're like Stan Lee. Stan Lee had a bunch of file copies that were auctioned off many years ago, because basically many people that work at Marvel, DC, or EC, or any company have file copies. I wouldn't say they are they fairly rare, but for some reason they are not as valuable as people think they are, except for the Stan Lee. One of the more expensive file copies are the one that belong to Stan Lee. Dave's comic. AG. Is AG Surfer here? I'm guessing AG Surfer is here, but I don't see him. Yes, I'm looking forward to Preacher. I'm still watching Fear the Walking Dead. Decent show, better than I expected. Um, the big news is, of course, Supergirl might not come back. Hello, AG. The surprising news that I read this past few days or weeks is that it cost three millions to produce a Supergirl show. Each episode of Supergirl cost 3 millions, and CBS is saying no mas to that. This one has two hole punch through the book at the top, but not through the front cover. Strangely, now that's bizarre because when you punch a hole, if you don't do it through the cover, then what's the purpose of the hole? Interesting. Scott is here. Hello. What's going on with the fight? I forgot to ask between Scott and Terrence. What is going on with that crazy fire? Holy cow! I can't believe what I see on TV. I was telling Anthony yesterday that the size of the fire is like the size of New York State. Let's see. Brooke say, "What's your opinion of Mile High comic Chuck Krasinski?" I don't. I am neutral on Chuck. Okay, I don't buy anything from Chuck. I think Chuck Price is whack. But you know, I know some people really hate him because of the way he is. I don't have a problem with how quirky or strange he is. I watch his videos on YouTube as often as he put them out. I think his prices are kind of crazy. I think he has a great selection, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of the way he lists his books using, scan that are not, I don't trust the grading. There's no way I'm buying the book with the way he lists them on eBay. No way. Forget about the prices. Even if the price is right, there's no way I'm buying anything with the kind of pictures that he provide on eBay. No way. But as far as a historian that Chuck is, I think it's fascinating. See, I can sit here and talk to Chuck all day long about the hobby, about the history of the hobby. I love that part of Chuck. I'm a big fan of Chuck as far as that part of him. I'm not a big fan of him as a dealer. 20% of Fort McMurray was destroyed. Yeah. Yes, AG. It cost 3 million. That's why the show is not. CBS is I guess looking to a way out, and there's a lot of talk that Supergirl is going to join the Flash over at CW because CW is owned by WB and CBS. So the combination of both CBS and WB. So it might be a share cost going forward if the show is to be around. But yeah, the special effect is too expensive, and the show is not that good. I watch every episode of Supergirl, and I think Martian Manhunter, Supergirl, and her sister are the best three characters. Even the boss, okay, even the female boss, she was okay. That's the four character that I enjoy in Supergirl. The rest of the cast, Jimmy Olsen, his ex-girlfriend, his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, horrendous. I cannot stand Jimmy Olsen in that TV show. Yes, it's Mile High for a reason. Yes, his price is Mile High. Chuck should put the pipe down. Okay, he should not be smoking, inhaling, and pricing at the same time. We have people we know that lived there. It was brutal. Yeah, I've been watching the news the past 3 days, and I can't believe how crazy the fire is. Twice the size of Winnipeg. Wow. Oh, Fort McMurray. I liked this story. I read it. Yes, Robert Finfrock. You're talking about Chuck, right? Yeah, I mean, if you go to My High website, he has like a blog where he write about the history of direct sales, the history of him finding the My High pedigree. Great reading. I can get lost for hours in his blog reading about the history of the hobby. I cannot spend 5 minutes browsing his eBay stuff. No way. Scott, you got lucky with My High. Are you a fan of Batman TAS? What's that? Batman. If I don't know what TAS means, that means that I'm not a fan of that. Chuck should put the pipe down. Oh yeah, Chuck like his pipe. Yeah, he's smoking something when he put down the prices on those books. My son and his mom love that show. Martian Manhunter is a favorite of them. Yeah, Martian Manhunter was a pleasant surprise when they finally introduced Martian Manhunter. That was pretty good, but my God, the action, some of the action in that show is just horrendous, and it has nothing to do with the actress. Okay, that's not her fault, but the stunt team, whoever it is that choreographed the fighting scenes, are just horrendous. I can nitpick the crap out of every show because it is just so poorly choreographed. Every fight scene was animated series. I figured that was that. Yeah. Are you a fan of Batman animated series? You talking about the old series, the one where Harley Quinn was introduced? If that's the one, then the answer is yes. And I even like the new one, the one that was canceled last year. That was one that I really like. I forgot the name now, but there was a Batman cartoon that came out last year that lasts only like 10 episodes, and I liked it. It has some bizarre villain that I have never seen before. It has Anarchy, and it has Humpty Dumpty. It was some bizarre shit going on in that cartoon, but I liked it, and it was canceled. Beware the Batman. Yes, I like that. I must be the only one since the show got canceled. But oh, bye, Scott. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. Um, yeah, I mean, I wish, often I enjoy the cartoon of DC. I mean, I have been a big fan of DC cartoon of all kinds. I like DC cartoons a lot more than Marvel cartoons. I even like the Green Lantern series they did. I thought that was well done, and when that was canceled, I was bummed. Seemed like everything I like. Yes, see, Terrence saw the Beware the Batman. Very strange villains indeed. Yes, especially the Humpty Dumpty, and then there was two guys like a frog and a something. It was strange, very strange. But perhaps the best part of that show was the last two episodes where they brought in Deathstroke. That was awesome. Oh my God, I love that The last two episodes where Deathstroke show up and kick Batman's ass, that was awesome. Professor Pig and Toad, yes, the pig face, the toad, that was bizarre. I remember watching that show, and both Anthony and I was just like, who the hell are these villains? They was bizarre, strange, but I felt the show was well written, especially with the Asian female ninja sidekick thing. That was awesome. I'm telling you, that's gold right there. To me, it's a gem that I think a lot of people did not get a chance to see. It's a damn shame. Yes, Katana. See? Seem like all the people that watch the show is right here in this chat. Not enough fan support for the show. Grant Morrison Batman. I think that's where Pig was from. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not very well versed in modern day Batman comic books. So for me, when I saw like even Anarchy, I thought Anarchy was created in the show, but from what I can tell, he was introduced in comic book first, right? Not in that TV show. I thought it was in in that cartoon, because I'm just like, I have never seen a villain called Anarchy before. But it was good. I'm telling you, the Marvel cartoon right now that I'm watching, well, I'm trying to watch, is just not good. Not good whatsoever. I'm highly disappointed in Marvel cartoon. Dave asked, favorite underrated superhero and villain. For Marvel, it is Sunfire. I did a video talking about Sunfire being underutilized. For DC, Man-Bat. I want Man-Bat. Or Dr. Fate. I want to see Dr. Fate getting pushed up from a C level character to at least a B. But I really like to see, Dr. Fate being used more, because I like the look. I think he's cool. I have two comic books with, well, three, maybe four. I have a couple Justice League with Dr. Fate, but the use of Dr. Fate in those issues are horrendous. Ever read the bad manga? The answer is no. Yes, Dr. Fate would be awesome. I like to see DC do something with magic with Dr. Fate. And I hope that Doctor Strange movie will be a hit, and DC will make a move into Dr. Fate, because if the audience accept that kind of stuff on the big screen, then DC won't be afraid to elevate Dr. Fate. I like them both. I picked Doctor Strange over Dr. Fate in my recent videos because I know more about Doctor Strange. I know so little about Dr. Fate, but I would like to see DC do something more with Dr. Fate so that I can get more involved. I would love to support Dr. Fate. Oh, I would love to. Spectre, Deadman, I am with you, Terrence. I like to see Deadman up there too. I think Deadman is very underutilized as well. As far as villain, favorite underrated villain, Dave questioned the second half of his questions. Favorite underrated villain. Man, tough question. Well, here's one that I like, that I think was incorrectly used for many decades. Molten Man. Okay, Molten Man was a villain that was introduced in Spider-Man 28. And for the life of me, I can't understand why he keeps showing up in Spider-Man, because he's best fitted to be a villain for Iron Man. Okay, so perhaps the best showing of Molten Man was in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. He was awesome in it. And once again, let me push that show to the forefront. The Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon is my favorite all-time Spider-Man cartoon of all time. It is simply awesome. Dr. Midnight. Hmm. Now, as far as DC, underrated villain for DC. Oh, Molten Man, I felt should be elevated. Could have been a very cool villain for Iron Man to fight for years because he can really hurt Iron Man. Okay, with his Molten. So, um, but as far as DC, so many, so many, so many. Damn. Uh, hmm. The question stopped me, not because I don't have a name in mind, but there are just so many underutilized villains in DC. Can I count Bizarro in there? I'm a huge fan of Bizarro, and I think he's not used enough. You know, I have been a fan of Bizarro since the first day I was aware of his existence, and I'm just like, he's just a fantastic character to use, and I don't think they use him enough. Not at all. Yes, favorite cartoon as a kid. The Spectacular Spider-Man. I think that's what you're saying. As a kid, didn't Spectacular Spider-Man came out like 10 years ago? Unless you're very young. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon came out in 2003 or the 2004. It's been a while. Oh, 2008. Really? Oh, wow. I just know that it came out when Anthony was a baby. My son, Anthony, he was born in 2007. I just remember watching it when he was a baby. Yes, the intro music was awesome. Oh, it's everything about the show. The voice, the style of animation, everything. Oh, I adore. It's the only cartoon series that I actually bought the DVD because I like it so much that I wanted to own the DVD set to watch it for many years to come. And I have rewatched many of the episodes here and there over the past 5, 6 years because it is worth watching and rewatching because it is just that good. I can't recommend highly enough. If you have never seen it, find it and watch it because it's the best Spider-Man. You have great introduction of all of the villain. You get to see the better intro of all the villain, even better than the comic books. I mean, it was so well written. It was so well written and weaved into every episode. It's so well done. Hats off to that. Jorge is here. Jorge, we're talking about the Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon. It is, if you are a big Spider-Man fan, I cannot recommend highly enough that you go out there and find the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon that came out in 2008. It was around for 2 seasons, maybe three. I can't remember. I have on DVD on the shelf. It is simply awesome. Yes, only 2 seasons. Yeah, it was. one of those stupid things that Marvel keep doing. I never understand the way Marvel do its business, keep canceling all the great cartoon, keep screwing it up, keep mixing it up. I want the intro as my ringtone. Yeah, that would be a great ringtone. It is. It's a great intro. Okay, I can admit that it is even better than Everybody Love ETA Nick. Okay, it is a hell of a lot. Oh, Jorge, since you're here and a movie fan, do you plan to go see X-Men Apocalypse? I would guess that you will go see that movie. Maybe not on the very first day, like I am. I'm not going to see that movie the first weekend. I own a copy of Spider-Man 19 in 0.5. I will have to check it out, but I doubt it is better than the Quacking Duck intro music. It is so good. Just you can go on YouTube and search for it. There's a lot of little clips of it on YouTube, but not the whole episodes. It's worth watching. It's worth, like I said, I've every opportunities I had in the past 7-8 years, I have recommended that TV show because I adore that cartoon so much. It's ridiculous, more than anything else. Spider-Man, but now that we have the new Spider-Man, Jonah Jello is here. Jonah Jello is here. Hello, my friend. I dig the little picture you have on your avatar. Is that a Oompa Loompa? I think it's an Oompa Loompa. I always love the Oompa Loompa. John, yes. Nick, have you ever been to New York Comic Con? No, I have not. I have not. I was in New York, Jorge, back in March, but I was busy with the family. It was a quick 4 days spring break vacation with the family. If I was there with more time, I would have contacted you and we would have a chance to hang out. But because it was this crazy 4 days with a lot of itinerary to do, we went to see the 9/11 memorial. We went to see the Statue of Liberty, Empire State Buildings, you name it. We did everything in 4 days. We tried to. It was exhausting and the weather was crappy. It rained, I think, the majority of the 4 days that we were in New York back in March. Ah, my son with a bunch of red paint on his face. Oh, okay. And I thought that was a picture of an Oompa Loompa. What villain you want is a villain in Homecoming? I want to see something different. Okay, we have seen the Lizard, we have seen the Goblin, we've seen so many. Yes, they are rebooting it so they can bring in a new Goblin, whatever. But I like to see something. They can save the Goblin for the next movie, for the second movie. Okay, they can introduce the character that will become the Green Goblins later. I don't have a problem with that. They can also introduce a character that could be the Lizard later. There's a lot of things that they can do with this new reboot, but I really want to see something different. I don't have any preferences. I think Craven the Hunter would be awesome. Just something different. Just give me something different, something that not Doc Ock, Lizard, or the Goblin, or even the Rhino. Okay, even though the Rhino was a tiny piece of the last movie, I don't care to see the Rhino either. I would love to see Carnage. I would love to see Venom. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that I would love to see. And I trust that Marvel has worked it out with Sony So whatever it is, I think it will be an improvement over the last many Spider-Man movies. Jorge, you agree with me? Molten Man is very underrated. From the first time I saw Molten Man, I'm just like, why can't anyone write a story where Molten Man meet up with Iron Man and kick his ass? Because if there's any villain with the power to melt things, it would scare the shit out of Iron Man. And why are he too busy fighting Spider-Man? He could be a huge enemy of Iron Man. If there's one enemy of Iron Man that would put Tony Stark to the test each time they meet up, would be Molten Man. He could be the number one nemesis of Iron Man, and yet they keep throwing him into Spider-Man story that kind of suck. Black Cat would be great. Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty about Spider-Man is that they have such a Spider-Man have one of the richest universe, okay, with of supporting characters and villains, and if done right, it could be wonderful. Okay, so I'm excited. After seeing the Captain America Civil War, I'm excited of this newer, younger version of Spider-Man, and they have the entire playbook to play with. They have the entire history to play with. So I'm sure Marvel will make Sony do it right. Make it do it right. Sean is here. Frogman, Razorback in Homecoming. I don't know. Like I said, Stegron. Well, like I said, Jorge, you and me, like I said, I have been talk. I mentioned. Well, actually, I shot a video talking about how Molten Man was underutilized. I never loaded. I shot a lot of videos I don't load because sometimes I shoot a videos and then a few days later I rewatch it and it came. Sometimes the audio sucks. Sometimes the video suck. So I never loaded. But I did shoot a video talking about how Molten Man is one of the more underutilized villain in the Marvel universe. AG says Civil War is awesome. It's a good movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Probably lower than most people. I'm sure the majority of people give it 9, 10. I heard a lot of 10s. The Enforcer for Homecoming. 4 more days until I see Civil War. Oh yeah, Terrence is seeing it this coming Sunday with his son. I look forward to your review with your son, Terrence, when after you see the movie. I want to hear your take on the movie. AG said that he would like to see Vulture in the next Spider-Man movie. That's possible too. I'm open for anything. The only thing that I do not want to see, even though I love dearly, is Doc Ock. I think Doc Ock was done so well in Spider-Man 2, the best Spider-Man movie so far, that I don't want them to remake that character. Not yet. I thought Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 was so well done that I prefer that they leave Doc Ock alone. Jorge asked, Nick, I know you read American comics. Ever read European or manga? I do read European comics, not manga. If you follow my channel long enough, I grew up reading Asterix and Obelix, Tintin, Lucky Luke, many other European comic books before Marvel ever existed. So I do. I do read I still enjoy my Asterix and Obelix. I do keep my eyes out there. on eBay to grab a copy here and there. I do have a whole bunch right here on the shelf to browse through. I love. My favorite is Asterix and Obelix. Yes, Looky Look. Looky Look is fun. Looky Look is a lot of fun. So um, I bought the original French version. Well, Belgium, I guess, with French in it, and then I also bought the here you go, Jorge. I bought these hardcover. These are the original first print. You're talking 60 stuff. So yes, I have a whole stack of them. This is one of my favorite right here. It is awesome. I adore the arts in these books since I was 5 years old. But I still love them. So yes, I bought these in French, and then I also bought the soft cover English version for my son Anthony to read. Okay, so, and I have a lot. I have this. I have Looky Look, Tintin. I love Tintin. Tintin is fantastic. I love the art styles of Tintin, Asterix and Obelix, and Looky Look so much. I mean, growing up, that was my exposure to comic books. Okay, long before I discovered American superheroes, those were my first love. Terrence said they have. Oh, what's my favorite Tintin volume? Oh man. I can't think of anything on top of my head, but all I can tell you is I wish that movie that was done by Steven Spielberg a few years back was more successful. I was so bummed that that movie was not a big hit, that they're not going to make any sequel to it, because that is a great movie. I thought the animation, the way it was done for that movie was so awesome. It was like the page was coming alive. Okay. What about Blueberry Comics? I do not have that. Is that the one with Mobius? Blueberry? I think that's what a lot of the Western stuff, right, Jorge? If I'm right about that, then I do not have. I don't have much of anything from Mobius, even though I'm a big fan. I I see more of Blueberry from watching YouTube videos. But the artist for these Asterix and Obelix is I believe he's still alive. I believe he's still alive. But I'm telling you, if you can get your hands on these things to browse through, you will fall in love with them. Kids will. If you have kids, okay, and you want to expose them to funny, cute stories that are not superheroes, these are fantastic. I'm telling you, I can't say enough about how awesome these are. Heavy Metal Magazine. I do have a couple issue of Heavy Metal Magazine. I think that's my few exposure to Mr. Mobius. Ever heard of Cyber 6? No. I have never heard of Cyber 6. Yeah, the Tintin cartoon is great too. Like I said, it's for some reason Tintin, Asterix, and Obelix was never caught on in the state. I'm guessing that they are more popular in Canada, French-speaking Canada, right? I'm guessing, but for sure, I'm sure our European friends from overseas love these. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? I mean, I think they are just ignored by American comic book readers for the most part because they're not superheroes. They're just stories. It's not superhero, but to me, that's what makes him great. Especially look with the cowboy and the western stuff. Oh my god, it's fun. I have a lot. I have a lot of those things on the shelf. Especially lately, I bought a lot of the. You can buy the English version from Amazon for like $5 each, brand new. Like wow, reprint, but in English. Dave asks, "What's your nationality?" I am Vietnamese. Would you say comics are more popular in Europe overall, possibly in Italy and France the most? I don't know, to be honest. Um, I just know that in Europe, from what I can tell from having friends over there that collect, they don't look at these things as collectible. You know, that's why like a first print of this book is not like worth a lot of money, even though it's not easy to find. It's all beat up in horrible shape. The copies I have are decent shape. They are very well manufactured for books that are in the 60s. You can see hardbound covers with square bound spine. Like I said, they're very well manufactured, produced, and they maintain the condition pretty good for not being taken care of. So I bought these used on eBay for I'm pretty sure I paid less than $10 a piece. I mean, Vietnamese food is the bomb. Yes, I can cook. I can cook Vietnamese food. Let me tell you, if you ever come to Sarasota, my open invitation is anybody that comes to Sarasota, you're welcome to be hosted by me, and I will cook you some good Vietnamese food, as well as take you out to our favorite Vietnamese restaurant down here. We have the VIP. Dave asked, "What band do you like?" Well, Dave, I like all kind of music. Okay, I have probably one of the widest. Terrence, for sure. If you ever come to Sarasota or Orlando with your kids, let me know. I'd be happy to show you around. What band do I like? Is per day questions. I have probably one of the widest taste of music out of many people that I know. I grew up with classical music. I grew up with old Motown back in Vietnam. The Temptation, the Four Tops, even Elvis Presley was the kind of music that my dad listened to in Vietnam back in the late 60s, early 70s. I like classic rock. I like heavy metal. I I like it all. I can tell you, heavy metal, sure. I like my Iron Maiden, AC/DC. Uh, I like it all. If you look at my CDs collections over the years, I have everything from Pink Floyd to Smashing Pumpkins to Natalie Merchant to Dido to Michael Jackson, Prince. I even listen to, yes, I can admit it, Justin Bieber. Even gangster rap. Oh yeah, throw me some Tupac. I mean, like I said, I listen to everything. Okay, even country music. Yes. Favorite classical composer? Hmm. 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 Not Beethoven. Vivaldi? Yeah. I mean, I like violin, so I tend to favor, Vivaldi. Um, Mozart. It's too easy to throw in Mozart, but I'm gonna go with a dark horse, Vivaldi. Cats or dogs? Cats. I grew up with both. Okay, I am allergic to both. Sadly, so whenever I touch cats and dogs, I had to go wash my hands real good before I touch my face. Otherwise, I would go crazy. My eye would be all red, watery. I'd be sneezing nonstop, all that stuff. So, but someday I will own a few cats again. I love cats. Can't get enough of little kitty cats. But if I were to have a dog, hmm, I love pugs. Okay, I have babysat pugs. Uh, the teacup dog. What they call those things? One of my ex-girlfriend used to have one of those little teacup dogs. They are cute, but they are so tiny. But she also had a pug, which I love to babysit. I babysit that pug whenever I had the chance, even after we broke up. It was a black pug, so cute. Ah, John, yes, Vivaldi. Another fan of Vivaldi, yes. If you don't know, I grew up playing the violin for 9 years. Yes, I was raised on a violin for 9 years. My wife and I eat Vietnamese sandwich. Oh, bánh mì. You are a fan of bánh mì. I can make the best bánh mì. Yeah, I can make the best bánh mì. Moi. In fact, I still want to open a food truck selling bánh mì. Yes. I am itchy to do that for the past few years. Itchy to open my own food truck selling bánh mì. Um, I'm looking at the clock. It's 7:49. Chat will be over in 10 minutes, so get your question in if you have anything left. Otherwise, I will end the chat in 10 minutes and move on with my night. Uh, oh, yes, John. If you ever, well, California have awesome. I take that you still live in California, or you all live in California. Probably the best Vietnamese food in America is in California. But I can do a pretty good bánh mì. I mean, I cook a lot of Vietnamese at home. I cook Vietnamese food at home every week. We eat out. We go out for Italian or order pizza, whatever. But whenever I cook at home, I usually cook Vietnamese and maybe French, maybe a little coq au vin. Robert Finfrock, I am trying to remove blue marker from a white cover. Oh, I don't think you can do it. I'm assuming, oh, yeah. I don't think eraser will work with ink. I would not try it because I think it could smudge more. Like, if you have a blue marker, I don't think it's gonna smudge. But the worst thing that can happen, because if I'm right, the blue marker, the problem with marker is that it go deeper than the surface of the paper. So unlike pencil, okay, unlike dirt or pencil mark on the cover, it's only on the surface where eraser will rub it off. But for a marker, the ink soak through the top layer of the cover, and because of that, you can't really erase it. I could be wrong, but I would not recommend erasing it because you might damage the cover. DC Archives or Essential Collectors? The Marvel Essentials. Well, you're talking about DC Archive or Essential, like both DC, right? Not the Marvel Essential, because isn't the Marvel Essential the one that is reprint in black and white? Which isn't a bad thing. I actually like the reprint, but I like the cheap reprint in black and white, because something about, if you watch enough of my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of black and white. And I know a lot of fancy reprint use fancy colors to make it nice and vibrant. But to me, there is something about the black and white format of the cheap format that is interesting to look through to see how the pen and ink look in its natural state without color. I'm a big fan of black and white magazine. So whenever I can buy something that is just black and white, I'm okay with that. I would prefer that over spending more money for the fancy, heavier stock, glossy color paper. So are you, John. You are a fan of the cheap black and white. Yes. Favorite comic book YouTubers. Who are those? Yeah, I mean, I bought a lot of Marvel Essentials, mainly because they will reprint in black and white. Yeah? I thought my wife was knocking on the door. Give me a second. Okay, put a mat. Yeah. Oh, that mat. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. That was my son. He was asking questions on his homework. And I help him. He has a test in math this Friday, so I'm helping out. If the test was tomorrow, I probably would have not do a chat today to help him review for the test tomorrow. But the math test is Friday, so he has to do some reviewing right now. um, uh, let's see what else. Other than that, nothing new with me. I did buy one awesome book to cross off one book of my top 10 most wanted. It has not arrived yet. I mailed a check. Math test for your daughter on Friday. How old is your daughter and what grade is she? My son is 9, and his math test this Friday will be on decimal. It's easy, it's easy for him. What's my favorite movies of all time? Oh man, you're asking tough question, Dave. 13. Oh, 7th grade. Okay. My son is only 9. Favorite movie. I have been asked this question many times, and to tell the truth, the only way I can break down that question before I end the chat is if I break the movie into categories. Okay. If I have to, pick my favorite horror slash sci-fi, it would be Alien, the first Alien movie. That's my all-time. I have watched that movie a zillion times. My favorite drama, Shawshank Redemption. I watched that movie a million times. Favorite comic book movie? Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay. I'm telling you, as big of a comic book fan as I am, I have a very hard time watching many comic book movies more than once. Are you familiar with Ghost in the Shell? They are making a movie, and apparently they are trying to make Scarlett Johansson look more Asian. Yes, I have heard of the controversy. Oh boy, what can I say? It is sad. Braveheart, The Crow, Tombstone, favorite Western, The Good, The Bad, The Ugly. Okay, love that movie. I've seen that movie so many times. Oh, love it. Favorite superhero. As shocking as you're gonna hear this. As shocking as you're gonna hear this. My favorite is Blade 2. Not Blade. The first Blade was good, but Blade 2, I have seen Blade 2 more than any other superhero movie. I have rewatched that movie probably a dozen times because it's just pure fun for me. I love that movie. For the rest of the other superhero movies, I have a hard time watching more than twice. So if I had to pick my favorite superhero movies, it has to be Blade 2 because I can watch it right now again. Favorite romantic comedy? Sleepless in Seattle. Yes, love that movie. Love that movie. Favorite, but so you get the picture, Dave. When it comes down to like favorite movie, I need to break it down to the category in order to pick the best movie because I cannot sit here and say here's my top 10 movie. I can't do that. I cannot do that. Midnight in Paris. Yeah, that's a good one too. There's a whole bunch of good one, like but Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, that was really good too. Like I said, I can name a whole bunch of good one, but I think if I had to pick my favorite, it would be Sleepless in Seattle. It's something about Tom Hanks that is just too awesome. Favorite war movie would have to be oh, that's a tough one. I like a lot of war movies. What animate movies do you like? Oh, wow, that's a tough one too. The Incredible, the original Fantastic Four. Question: Thriller by Robert Bloch and Trevor Van Eden, yay or nay? I say yay. Full Metal Jacket, yeah. I like Full Metal Jacket. Oh, you got the original Kingpin. The original Kingpin in Full Metal Jacket. He was a psycho in that one, a crazy mofo in that movie. Yeah, there's a lot of good war movie from Saving Private Ryan. That movie is tough to watch. I mean, I love, I Saving Private Ryan. I seen twice in the movie theater, and it, but the second time it bothered me so much on some of the scenes that I knew that I can never watch that movie again. Even though I think it's a fantastic movie. Even some of the classic war movies I love, like The Longest Day. I remember seeing The Longest Day way back when I was in Vietnam in black and white and thought it was a fantastic movie. There's a lot of really good classical war movies that don't get a lot of attention anymore, but I still love the classic war movies, even though they're not realistic like Saving Private Ryan. Anyhow, it's 8:01. It's time for me to wrap up the show. Question before I go: Mike Mignola on Alpha Flight, yay or nay? I'm a fan of Mike Mignola, so I would say yay just to see what his style look like, even though I don't think his style fit Alpha Flight. But I would give it a shot, okay? I mean, Mike Mignola have a very unique style that I like, but I don't think it fit Alpha Flight. I don't think it fit the typical superhero action kind of book that people expect. I don't think his style is a good fit. Okay, folks, time for me to say goodbye. Much appreciative for tuning in and keep me entertained. The chat would be very boring without people participating. And I truly enjoy all the different questions that people ask and keep the chat going. Thank you, Dave, for all the questions. Thank you, John Jello, for joining in for the first time. I hope you had fun. And bye, Jorge. As I mentioned, open invitation. Anybody ever want to come down to Sarasota, visit me, you will be treated to good Vietnamese food. Bye. Good night, everyone.